Let's begin with renal physiology now. Here is one kidney with orientation of nephron, right? Here is the Bowman's capsule, the proximal convoluted tubule, the descending limb and the ascending limb making loop of Henle, and here is the collecting duct. Here is the efferent arteriole, the glomerular tuft and the efferent arteriole. Note that juxtaglomerular apparatus is located in the cortex of the kidney, and vasa recta, the loop of Henle and the collecting duct are in medulla of the kidney. Now let's look at Renin-Angiotensin-Aldosterone System. Now let's suppose you had blood loss. Now this will decrease the blood volume and make it more osmolar, so that the blood going to the kidney will also decrease, and hence the GFR of the kidney will also go down. Now since GFR is down, the proximal convoluted tubular cell will have more time to absorb sodium, and hence the net amount of sodium chloride reaching the distal convoluted tubule will be decreased, and this less amount of sodium chloride will be sensed by macula densa of the JGA and will release renin. This is called tubuloglomerular feedback, that means low sensation of sodium chloride in the distal convoluted tubule will release renin by juxtaglomerular apparatus. Now once renin is in circulation, it will convert angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. Angiotensinogen is secreted by liver and it is already present in the circulation. Angiotensin 1 will be converted into 2 by angiotensin converting enzyme, which is present in the microcirculation of the lung. Now angiotensin 2 will do the following function. It will stimulate the adrenal medulla to release aldosterone. It will do vasoconstriction of the efferent arteriole 2 to bring back the GFR to the normal state. It will stimulate the thirst central, so you will drink more water to combat the decreased volume. It will increase the ADH secretion to retain more water to maintain the volume. Now what's the function of aldosterone? It retains salt and water, right? Now what if you have more amount of aldosterone in your blood? That means it will retain more amount of salt and water. If it will retain more amount of sodium, it will result in hypernatremia. More amount of water will cause hypertension, and it will lose potassium, and that will cause hypokalemia. Okay, let's look at the MCQ. JGA is near glomerulus. Renin is secreted by juxtaglomerular apparatus. All of the following are in renal medulla except this one is in cortex, right? So the following is not secreted by kidney: renin by juxtaglomerular apparatus, angiotensin 1. Look, angiotensin 1 is product of angiotensinogen and which is secreted by liver. Erythropoietin by endothelial cells of the peritubular capillaries. 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol from the PCT cells, proximal convoluted tubular cells. Angiotensin 2 cause all of the following except it does vasoconstriction, right? And rest are all the function of the angiotensin 2. Thirst is stimulated by increased plasma osmolarity and decreased plasma volume, that will release renin, and angiotensin 2 will stimulate the thirst center. Hyperaldosteronism is associated with all except these are the classical signs, and it will lead to metabolic alkalosis, not acidosis, because it will lose more amount of proton along with potassium, and it will retain bicarbonate to cause alkalosis. Tubuloglomerular feedback is mediated by sensing sodium chloride in the macula densa of the juxtaglomerular apparatus. Next is countercurrent multiplier system. What is this countercurrent multiplier system? It's the opposite tubular flow in both the limbs of the loop of Henle, and it's also opposite flow in the vasa recta and the limb 2, right? Now once the plasma is filtrate, around 65% of water, all of the amino acid, major chunk of bicarbonate, glucose and sodium is absorbed from the PCT, right? And to maintain the corticopapillary concentration, that means increasing amount of the interstitial concentration from 300 milliosmol to 600, 800, 1200, you need what is called as countercurrent multiplier system. Now how it is forming this concentration is by the absorption of sodium from the distal convoluted tubule. Here are the sodium potassium pump, which pumps out sodium to maintain the interstitial concentration, right? So the main site for bicarbonate absorption is PCT. Which of the following is not a component of counter current mechanism? Collecting tubule does not form the component. Here are the thick ascending limb of the loop of Henle and the vasa recta. Prime driving force for counter current multiplier system is reabsorption of sodium. True about free water clearance. What is free water clear? It is the volume of blood plasma that is cleared of solute free water. That means the water which doesn't have solute in them. If it is 0, that means the urine and the blood plasma concentration is same. It is isoosmotic. If it is greater than 0, that means urine is more dilute. That means you are losing more amount of water. That means you don't have ADH. If it is negative, that means urine is very much concentrated and you have high amount of ADH in your blood. That means it is regulated by ADH. Urinary concentration ability of kidney is increased by ECF volume contraction. If you have extracellular fluid volume very low, right, less amount of blood will go to the kidney and that will stimulate renin. And once renin is released, it will also stimulate antidiuretic hormone, right? And once the antidiuretic hormone is released, your kidney will start absorbing more. So urinary concentration capability will increase when extracellular fluid volume is decreased. I think this question is truly checking your grammar. What is D saying? Clearance of a substance is always more than GFR if there is tubular secretion. It says if you are secreting something in the kidney, you'll always have more output than GFR. Is it true? If you are secreting something, then can't you absorb back? So this is not the case. If you are secreting something, that doesn't mean you'll have always more output than the GFR. So option C is correct. If clearance of substance is greater than GFR, then tubular secretion must be present. So it's the necessary criteria that tubular secretion must be present. It's not always necessary that you'll have more amount of output. If you are secreting, you might absorb it back.